I'm sure you were expecting to hear the voice of a beautiful elf or a wise wizard, so they could spin you a tale of gold and ancient evils. But that is not this story. No, this is a story of four friends that call Middle-earth home. A dwarf of the line of Durin's kin, who is obsessed with knowledge instead of gold. An elf of Rivendell, sworn to serve and protect the descendants of a once great house. A banished dwarf, seeking glory and proof that there is more to life than what lies under a mountain. And a hobbit of the Shire, who collects treasures of the smallest kind. Together, with their strength, wits, and heart, they will face the growing shadows of the East, bringing light where there is darkness.
All your things as the sun rises in the sky, Albert, you notice that there is a small, tightly packed bundle.
Oh, I'm totally opening it.
You do so. You open it, and inside there is a small emblem. You know that rangers are prone to carry these things, and instinctively you sort of flip this thing over, and you see etched into the back of it is the elvish word Estelle. Cool. So you guys head out. You pack up camp, you eat your food, stuff the fire, and you head down, following Elverneth down the path of Weathertop. You mount your horses, check everything's good, and you set out on your journey. So, Elverneth, as you're exploring, it's the late afternoon, and you see through some trees, emerging from the dappled light of the late afternoon sun, a procession of elves appears. They move with grace that seems to defy the very nature of the earth they tread upon. Their garments range from deep forest greens to the soft blues of twilight skies, and each elf carries an air of solemn beauty and quiet dignity. This procession is led by an elf of noble bearing. His hair is silver like moonlight, eyes deep with the wisdom of ages. They are followed by others, some young and fair, others older and marked with the serene acceptance of the passing of an age. Each carries a small bundle of their most treasured possessions, items not of gold or gemstones, but of personal value, a well-thumbed book, a lovingly crafted instrument, a vial of earth from a cherished garden. Elverneth, you know that these people are taking their last journey west. They are headed to the Grey Havens, from which they will board a boat, and they will leave Middle-earth forever, never to return.
No, I beg your pardon, Master Elf, but what we saw the other day, I don't... It haunts me.
How so?
It was almost as if we witnessed a bunch of ghosts, and they were just going on
In
as
a
if
way,
the world did not matter to them.
in a way, they were ghosts, or will be. Lots of pain and sorrow. Those people are leaving it behind for somewhere indescribably beautiful and peaceful, where they can live eternally.
Honestly, it seems like a big burden to carry. You have to make a choice that big. Our afterlife is just... it is. You don't really get to choose most of the time.
I have yet to meet a mortal who did choose to leave.
That's what I mean. It's a big burden to have to be like, today I'm going to move on.
I would agree. As you can see, I am still here.
Yes, for much longer than the average elf, it seems.
The Valley of Rivendell, nestled amidst the encircling arms of the Misty Mountain, exudes a sense of serene isolation from the outside world. The river Bruinen, swollen with the recent autumn rains, flows through the heart of the valley with a lively, melodious babble. The sound of water combined with a gentle rustling of leaves creates a harmonious symphony of nature. Elven architecture melds seamlessly with the natural beauty of the valley. The buildings are crafted with an elegance and grace that speak of an ancient and sophisticated culture. Tall, slender structures with sweeping arches and terraced balconies are interwoven with the living landscape. Gardens filled with late-blooming flowers provide splashes of color against the backdrop of falling leaves, and meticulously tended pathways invite exploration. The House of Elrond at the heart of Rivendell stands as a testament to elven artistry. Its facade is adorned with intricate carvings depicting the history of elves in Middle-earth. Large windows capture the waning light of the season, bathing the interior in a warm glow. The air in Rivendell is filled with a sense of peacefulness and timelessness. Elves move about their tasks with a calm purposefulness, their faces reflecting a blend of joy and a subtle, poignant awareness of the passing of their age. The atmosphere is one of quiet reflection, befitting the fall season, with a hint of anticipation for the stories and wisdom that the evening will bring. Stands majestically, its architecture a perfect harmony of nature and elven craftsmanship. Intricate carvings and elegant arches blend with the surrounding gardens, where the last of the autumn leaves stands in the gentle breeze. Passing through the open archway, you enter a spacious hall bathed in the soft ambient light filtering through stained glass windows. The hall is adorned with ancient tapestries and artifacts that speak of a long and storied past. The air is filled with a subtle fragrance of pine and autumn flowers, creating a sense of calm and reverence. At the far end of the hall, on a raised dais, sits Lord Elrond. He exudes an aura of serene authority and ageless wisdom. His attire is simple yet elegant, befitting an elf lord of his stature, with subtle embroidery that catches the light with every movement. His eyes, reflecting deep knowledge and understanding, hold a hint of concern for the matters that weigh upon the world. The atmosphere of the room is quiet anticipation, and you feel the importance of this audience. His gaze rests upon each of you, offering a silent acknowledgement of the burdens you carry. Elrond graciously extends a welcoming gesture. Rising to his feet, he says, "Welcome, travelers from afar. You have come at a time of great change and uncertainty. Speak freely and share the tidings you bring. Let us counsel together for the good of Middle-earth." Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We're hot for Elrond and hot for cheese, and you'll never know what the context for that was, unless you catch the new episode of Hot Dice Daddies coming before 2024. That being said, we're here. We're excited. This is the final episode. I did. She already yelled at me in chat. This is the final episode of the year. We are ending on the Yule break in-game. It's going to be fun, and of course we're meeting with Elrond. But that is neither here nor there. If you guys like what we like what we like to do, I guess that also works. If you guys like what we like to do, you can support the channel over on Patreon. Christ. It's the week after Christmas, guys. No one else in the world is working, okay? Go support us over on Patreon. Check out the link down below. While you're down there, click on that link. Click on the Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I unleash horrible shadow things on my players. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. That being said, when last we left our intrepid heroes, you were face to face with one Lord Elrond. I believe his parting lines were something along the lines of, "You have come at a time of great change and uncertainty. Speak freely and share the tidings you bring. Let us counsel together for the good of Middle-earth." You all stand before Lord Elrond. To one of you, a grandfather. To the rest of you, a noble lord of the Elves. What are the three of you doing? Mostly, what are the two of you who's not related to him doing? Because this is the first time you've ever been in the presence of, a full-on elven lord of a city.
Do I feel like I need to bow?
Do you feel like you need to bow?
Yes, deeply. I think Solheim is gonna like nudge, like nudge Glowfrom and like do this deep bow, waiting this like unsure if he needs to take a knee or what, but there is some overwhelming,
All
not
right.
in a negative way, presence.
I think when you nudge me, I'm a little caught off guard. My knees are weak. So I stumble a little. And I'm actually going to roll something I don't get to roll very often, which is awe. I actually have points in it because, I am technically of a lineage in which it holds a little. And it says here, and determines the impression a hero makes on someone they meet for the first time. So I want to I want to try to leave a good impression first time upon Lord Elrond. But as I take a knee, a bow.
Okay. So you attempt to wow him with your statescraft.
I know how to bow. But he also knows me pa, at least a little. Oh no, he doesn't know me brother yet.
No,
I failed.
Yet. Okay, cool. We'll see how that goes for you in the future.
I failed.
Future,
but I still take the knee.
Oh yeah. It's just not. It is as you explained it. There's a little bit of a jostle from a 6 and change foot human who kind of bumps you to the side. Your knees are weak, arms heavy. Something about a spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti.
And you sort of wobble and land on a knee. And you confidently feel like you knelt, as opposed to landed on your knees.
I knelt it.
Christ. Elverneth, you see your two companions bow. What do you do?
Elverneth kind of tries to hold in a giggle.
Oh, don't laugh at me.
Just because she's never seen Glowfrom look
a little
rattled.
flustered.
Like it's a little interesting. It's kind of funny to see such a big man bow so deeply, and her friend, her trusted companion, who always has something to say, seems a little in awe herself.
A little flabbergasted.
Yeah. So Elverneth just kind of tries to hide a giggle. I don't know if she fully does it. She says, "Thank you for your welcome."
He turns to you and he says, "Elverneth, your return to Rivendell brings joy to my heart. Your journey beyond our borders and the experience you've gained are invaluable. Your perspective will be crucial in this council." A small nod to his granddaughter, but Elrond seems to be keeping everything currently above board. Everything is businessy in this moment.
When do I think I should get up? Should I just stay? Does Solheim get up? Do we just stay at our knees?
I kind of like nudge whoever's next to me, kind of like, and as I incline my head in response.
Solheim.
Um, are my friends Glofram and Solheim.
He walks down from the raised platform, striding quickly across the audience room. He looks to the three of you. You can tell there is everything you felt before, Glofram and Solheim, of the elves of Rivendell sort of taking in your measure, is tenfold under the gaze of Elrond. It's as though he can see through you. He
Oh,
looks over the two of you, and lastly to Elveneth, and says, "Please, follow me, and tell me of your travels. The lands you traversed hold many secrets, some of which may shed light on the shadows that stretch across the world."
oh, I got this. I have a book.
He looks to you and says, "A book?
With our travels. I wrote them down
You're a
so
chronicler."
we wouldn't forget them. I prefer the term historian, but same difference. Look, I wrote it all down, so you can have it if you want.
He takes the book, but not out of your hand, and he sort of like thumbs one of the pages over, and he says, "Anyone can read a book. I would like to hear your story."
You know, I'm much better when I write it down. I'd read it to you. I could read it to you.
If you need to, then by all means.
Need to, yeah, sure, we'll tell you some stories. I
And
have plenty of stories.
he turns and sort of smiles at you, Elveneth, and begins to walk out of the audience chamber room. And he begins to walk through gardens, terraces, balconies, and he's just seemingly going on a little walkabout around his house, and just letting you follow, the three of you, to tell him your stories. So he doesn't interrupt or say anything to whoever starts telling the story. He asked for something, and he expects it. So who speaks first?
Well, as um, as said in my letter, we went through quite a few different lands. Um, hmm, where shall I start?
Um, the beginning is usually a very good place.
Suppose. Um, well, I don't think I need to continue the same information as in my letters. Um, we met a ranger named Haleth. Um, I do believe you might have heard of her. She mentioned a bit about who is it? Sorry, I'm going through my things.
Okay.
It's okay. I have 75 notes too.
I have so many notes.
Okay.
Let's see. Sorry, there's a bunch of not essential things in here. Um,
Um,
oh, there was a calling of the Rangers to Amansul. There they met and discovered there are quite a few things going on. Um, uh, they have noted many more spies of the enemy, orcs and dark creatures, in places they hadn't been recently, including where is it? Up in the at Moors, and just slightly north. quite close to Karndum.
Have you encountered any signs of the enemy's agents or witnessed events that may speak to their intentions? Any
Oh yeah,
detail?
Willie rolled a troll. Remember?
Yes, we did encounter a troll. It was actually as far as Bree.
It
We
came
followed
into
it,
town, was digging up graves.
seemingly looking for artifacts.
Interesting. Your
Which led us
companion.
to a burrow, and that burrow led us, to an underground treasure, in which we found a crown, which we passed off to the rangers, through Orphan.
Ah, yes. Him I am familiar with. Your companion, Willie, and he motions to Solheim.
No.
He, Willifred decided to stay home. The encounters that we had with the trolls and with the treasure hunters later down in the where was that? In the Midgewater Marshes. No, that was
Yeah, that's correct.
yeah.
And, not to mention the fact the ring and the wraith, and, Willie was just he's just a little guy. So he went home.
I see. Anything else?
Well, we are skipping around a bit, so since Glowford
Well, let's
mentioned
see.
it,
Did we mention?
did encounter a ring of power, as you can see, and I kind of gesture towards her hair.
May I?
Just, is he gonna touch me hair?
He puts a hand out, but doesn't specify whether he wants the ring or your hair.
I was about to say, if he doesn't specify, I take the lock of hair that's braided, kind of, dreaded, with the ring slit up on it, and I plop it, into his hand. The whole dread, ring and all.
Of course you do. Why wouldn't you do that? Perfect. Oh man. He looks.
I swear, I thought you were about to cut it off. Like you can
Well,
just have my hair.
I might before it's over with, but he hasn't asked me yet.
He takes this lock of hair, and you see that he absolutely was not expecting to have hair placed in his hand, but he he goes with this, not to look out of control of the moment, and he
and
turns...
I linger just a minute, my hand upon his as I place the lock, and are his hands soft?
They are the softest hands you've ever felt.
Middle Earth.
Yeah, they are ancient elven lotions and salves. Jesus. He turns this lock of hair over so he can see the ring in this. And you can feel him like there's like occasional little gentle tugs in your hair as he's like thumbing through the braid, trying to like roll the ring and like see the gems and like look at this ring the best he can. And he looks to you and says, "And how did you come by this?"
Willie procured it off the neck of a lady we had tracked from the Shady Inn. What was that place called? What was it called?
You're asking me, or are you asking the Forsaken Inn or the Forbidden Inn?
The Forsaken Inn.
Forsaken Inn.
We found the body of a dead ranger, and it, and then this caravan, and this lady, she had it, and this wraith kept pairing, and then, Willie, he's got sticky fingers, and he plopped it right off of her neck, and, and then we procured it.
There does seem to be a wraith attached to it somehow.
But don't worry, we solved that problem.
You said a wraith is attached in what way?
Well, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. It's very hard to tell. I'm not well versed in these magics.
It's kind of why we brought it to you, because you know everything.
Trying to butter him up.
I mean, maybe she means it genuinely. Just because it sounds buttery, don't make it, maybe it's genuine.
He looks to Elveneth in this moment and says, "You said it is attached in what way? Have you encountered the wraith? Did it come when called? Was it summoned? Did it come when the ring was put on? How
Well,
did you encounter this?"
the first time we encountered the Wraith, it was actually not near the ring at all.
It's almost like it was tracking it.
Yes, a collection of elves were on their last journey and happened upon us. They banished at that time. The second time is when Willie touched the ring from on the neck of the woman he took it from. The wraith appeared and chased him, and I banished it.
How?
Singing.
How?
Singing.
Oh, singing. At least I'd say again.
No, singing. She put out a pretty tune.
I suppose so, yes. I evoked the name of Alvarez.
And you have had this ring for how long? And the wraith has not appeared?
Since just before we left Bree, so about a 10 day?
10 days, give or take. Actually, I imagine with my slight obsession, I might know exactly to the hour how long we've had it.
I'll take that. Yeah. So you spot off the exact number of days.
Yeah, like 10 days and one sunset worth.
Interesting. And you said a woman of any import?
All that we could tell. Her and her brother was traveling with the caravan. Left it in nice shambles.
It is not every day that an artifact of this make, let alone one that is cursed such as this, makes it into the hands of, as you say, common folk.
Well, about that, you like stories and all that. I guess you could say me and the ring had a personal moment and I saw things, visions, and whatnot. And I saw it, the ring taken off the body of an elf and then passed to somebody else and then taken again in battle by man. So it could pass down, after being taken the first time.
You saw this?
I experienced it in a very visceral way. Yeah. Just me and the brain got a little thing.
Oh, yes, she swallowed it.
No, well.
Was this in an attempt to...
keep it out of the clutches of the wraith?
Yes.
I feel like if he was going to have to cut through anybody's belly, it might as well be mine. It's the biggest one in the group. Look at them. Well, except for, no offense, Solheim. But you came around after the fact we found him in an alleyway.
We?
Okay, I found him in an alleyway, and, he has an important message.
That brings us to Solheim, who was tasked by the Grey Wizard to bring a message to his queen. To who? To Haleth.
The Helvetica, yes.
Helvetica?
I can remember
That's
to the
fault.
Pandora,
we
this
missed
is
the Rangers
a very interesting assortment of companions you have found. When I said conscript those who would aid in your cause, I did not. This is not what I expected.
Oh, do not be wary. We was not conscripted. I came along all volunteer.
I am also a volunteer.
You know, it's only once in a lifetime a dwarf gets invited into, Revendell.
You would think we have played host to quite a few in the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, Paul was one of them. You showed him, round.
Who?
Hey, Paul.
Yes, who is?
Oh, Gloin.
Oh, one of Thrain's companions.
Was.
Right. That is the last time I saw him, or this is you were the first I've seen since then. And that
The
was
first
also
elf?
the
Like
first.
30 years.
You're the first dwarf I've seen since then.
In 30 years?
It's not very often that your
I
kin
guess.
makes it here, let alone is welcomed into the
Which
house.
I should say I appreciate so much your hospitality. It's a great honor and all that. Do you want me to, take the ring? You want the ring?
Please, come this way. And he leads you all into like a much smaller chamber, which has like a table and chairs. And he sits down. He kind of motions to the rest of the chairs, and he sits down at the head of the table. He says, "Please place the ring. I would hear."
I chop the braid out and lay it on the table.
He again looks at it with the same face as he made when you placed the hair in his hand. He says, absolutely taken aback for a second, and he looks to all of you and says, "I would hear all of your stories together. You said you have found a ring. There was a crown, a tomb, a troll. You met with Mithrandir, and you were given a letter."
Okay, from what I can tell, there's this guy Gorlag. He's wandering about. He's part of whatever forces is gathering in the north, or whatever the Rangers and Elavornith keep talking about. He's searching for stuff. He's hitting all of these old places, looking for powerful ancient artifacts. We ran into some of his goons in the burrow before we found the crown. And we're pretty sure, we've seen signs of him here and there. And if I'm correct, he's been sighted in the north. Didn't I put that on the map?
You did. You did put that.
I did. Yeah, he's been sighted north of the Ettenmoors. He's busy doing something.
Trolls and hillmen have also been reported.
Not to mention what's going on in the south. They say a sea monster.
I can attest to.
You have seen a sea monster.
I fought it and survived.
And lived to tell the tale. Your companions are something. Please, this Gorlank, is he of some renown? Is he?
We know he's what do we know about him, Mike? That he's a.
You know that he was driven out of these lands some 30 years ago, by the Rangers.
He is a sorcerer looking for an ancient artifact.
There we go.
Likely the one who is giving orders to the trolls. That is an assumption that Elverneth has made, at least.
Mm-hmm.
since Gorlink is a sorcerer, and we, well, the troll that we encountered was last encountered by Halith about 30 to 40 years ago, so he's extremely old. He also seems to have made himself some armor and fortified a cave. Around this cave, we found many bone effigies. It was indescribably dark.
I know this creature. He has been of some use to myself and the Rangers. He is affectionately known as the Old Troll. I believe his age dates back to at least 1,500, 1,700 years. He is, as far as I can trace, one of the last surviving, at least to my knowledge, members of the forces of Angmar. They have...
So, about that, Angmar keeps getting brought up on the pretty regular on our way here. Just about everybody we talk to has something to say about it.
And what are they saying?
Oh, well, let's see. What are they saying about it? Everybody keeps talking about the battle, right? Where did I put that? Feather top. Maybe I didn't write this one down. I don't know, Mike.
Wasn't there
what?
a poem or of some sort?
There was, and I wrote it down, but that one was a while back.
Someone doesn't know that, but
no one has spoken specifically about things happening in Angmar. There are things that all seem to link back to Angmar.
The king of Angmar. I should clarify.
Yes.
The king of Angmar has been brought up on the regular in our travels since trying to get here. It's like his name is on every person's lips.
While we stopped at Amansul, there was a voice on the wind. It said, it was coming from the north. It said, Thrak Nags Forat.
Is this the first time you've said those words?
Yes.
Great. Those words viscerally taste bad in your mouth. It tastes like a mouthful of ash as you say these words. You heard it, you sort of memorized what it said, but as you say this, it doesn't flow like common, it doesn't flow like Elvish. It almost like gets stuck in your mouth in a way that you have to force the words out. And as they do, it feels like a belch of smoke from a blacksmith's furnace. And you see Elrond place his hand up when you get halfway through the second word, as if to stop you from continuing.
As soon as I see his hand go up, I immediately close my mouth. I'm done.
You see him like he like looks down and sort of rubs his eyes, and he says, "This was a voice you heard on the wind."
Yes, I know not many can do that.
Not many can, and not many would, and fewer still would utter the black speech of Mordor. These words you spoke are a call. They were not meant for you. They were meant for the ring bearer. And he looks to Glofrim. Bring the ring north. You are being commanded.
Wait, that's what they were saying?
That's what the words mean.
Well, I can't hear them or understand it, so, it's lost on me.
Can you hear the ring? Can you feel its pull?
No.
Are you drawn to wear it?
That's why I keep it in my hair.
He looks to Elverneth. Are you drawn to keep it close? Could one of your
I
friends...
would like to keep it safe since, it don't belong to me. I was trying to get it, back to, elven hands where it started.
Hmm. And it appears as though you need not understand the words. The ring's will wants to go north.
How do you know? You speak ring?
I understand the black speech.
Why would we want to listen to that?
This ring is cursed. You are its bearer, and you share in its curse.
No, I am no bearer of no ring. I simply, technically, by all standards, as the wanted signs, I stole it. And why aren't they cursed? They had it first. They should be cursed.
They may have been, but now you bear its curse.
Well, why can't I could just leave it here. And then nobody can wear it. You can keep it safe. Nobody's got to be cursed.
The ring cannot stay in Rivendell. You may want what is good, what is best, but through no fault of your own, even if you leave this ring, you'll find a way for it to be back in your possession.
What do you mean by cursed?
Each curse is unique.
Hey, what about this one?
This ring of 7 jewels, as it is called, is a creation of the Whispering Halls. Its forging predates the Great Rings, and is a testament to the skill and ambition of old Eregion.
Wait! You're saying it's older than the Great Ring?
A great many rings existed before. Those were some of our last great works in ring lore.
Well, what was its purpose in being forged?
That knowledge is lost to time. I can have our historians, our chroniclers, our scholars look into the ring lore behind this, but what I know is that the last elf lord to wear this ring fell into the enemy's hands. Her torment at the hands of Sauron's minions left an indelible mark on the ring, tainting it with her anguish.
Oh my god, I have so many questions. Mike, technically, I was there during its forging, seen it. Would I maybe happen to know its purpose of foraging?
You did not learn its purpose of forging.
Okay.
And now that he specifies that there is a woman who was captured, an elf lord or an elf lady, who was captured by the hands of the enemy, perhaps the person you were embodying was this elven woman, there for its forging as it was custom created for her. But why it was forged, your nauseating dream did not shed light on that.
Okay. Wait, I have other things I might. You say it belonged to somebody who was captured?
Yes, tortured at the hands of the enemy.
What was Elavornus' grandmother's name?
Uh,
Didn't you tell me about somebody in your family?
I don't think she did.
I feel like.
Elrond.
Yeah, her grandmother was a POW after being rescued. And then when she came back, she went to the Undying Lands.
Oh, Elrond's wife.
Right, which is her
Celebrian.
grandmother.
Oh, yeah, Elwing.
Oh, yeah, Elvornis. Okay, yeah. This is information I was given. Very delicately, that being said, I simply ask, what was her name again?
Calabrian.
Calabrian?
Yeah.
I go, it wouldn't have happened to belong to an elf named Calabrian.
My wife, no. This ring has been lost for longer than I can remember. This ring was lost in the fall of Ostenin something. Hold on. Ostenidil, which Elverneth, is a city in a region. It is still the ruins of which are still on the map. But it is one of the greatest like smithing centers of the Elven Age. That people such as Celebrimbor worked out of there.
I was there. I seen it, right?
Is this place here?
Oh.
Basically, if you've seen, so for reference, for visual reference, if you've seen Rings of Power, basically the only elven city you see in Rings of Power, that's Ostenidil. Close to Moria.
You say this ring wants to be taken north. Why?
I can only assume whoever wants it, whoever is powerful enough to cast their voice on the wind, wants this ring. For what purpose, I cannot speak.
Well, why would I take it to him? That seems like a bad idea.
I don't think you would if you were in your right mind. But the longer you hold this ring, the more you keep it close, the more you put it on, the less and less of your own will, and the more the will of the ring will exert over you.
So I shouldn't keep it. You shouldn't keep it, and we can't actually take it north for them to get. So what do we do with it?
You must free it of its curse or destroy it.
Well, how do we do that?
You could find a smithing hammer of old, perhaps in the ruins of Ostenidil. You could, frankly, in any elven ruin may hold these. Ostenidil may be the chiefest place among them.
So what? We need a special hammer to break it apart?
Yes. It was crafted by elven hand, and only an elven smithing tool can break it.
Do you have no such tool here in an elven city?
Not one of enough strength to break that.
So we have to go wandering about an ancient elvish city and hope that we find one?
Or find this sorcerer who wants this and break the curse another way.
Do you think he's controlling the curse?
I think he wants to use the ring for some purpose. Perhaps in discovering that you may find the nature of the curse.
Well, considering the fact that we don't know much about the spring, and it feels like no matter what we do, we're a little at odds with fate. And you said you might be able to, look into the history books and find out more. I could help with that.
Can you read Ancient Elven?
I could sure try.
All of the books that would be relevant to that time would be written.
Sure. Could I see them? I could just watch. Moral support.
All hands.
Master Elf, what she is trying to say is she would greatly appreciate if she could view your library. It's all she talks about. I've heard it for 10 days.
I had a feeling that's what she was getting at. All hands can assist in this matter. Yes. You may assist us, Mistress Dwarf.
Thank you so much. This is very exciting. How many days do you think we have to just, stay? Could we stay for a while? It's a big library, isn't it? But it's got a lot of scrolls. Do you think I could learn Elvish? I spent enough time. I've got a keen ear, at least my right one. My left one lost that in a fight. But,
I don't know if there's enough time or an adequate teacher to train you in Sindarin in such a short amount of time. But you are welcome to stay here as long as you need to prepare for whatever comes next.
you said you have a forge.
We do have a forge.
You seem knowledgeable and old in, the best kind of way. So something strange happened, right? Took me a hammer, slammed it right up next to the jaw of this here wraith, and then the next day comes out with, scribbled rune in it. Ain't never seen such.
And you would like me to...
Well, I thought maybe, in that big brain of yours, you could... Have you ever heard of anything happening that imprinting itself upon a weapon?
Audacity in enchanting a weapon?
Perhaps not audacity, but blessings come in many forms. Perhaps this is one.
You think I was blessed?
If you're saying that dwarven writing had appeared on your hammer during combat, I can think of either some powerful magic was worked on your hammer, or perhaps a blessing.
Well, it's old dwarven. You don't think... You don't think...
Think what?
Well, he's saying it's a blessing. I was thinking it was part of the curse, but if that's true and it's a blessing written in old Khazad, Khazan, right? It's didn't it? Isn't it? Didn't you giving it to me in old tongue? Yeah.
It is written in Khazad.
Then that big Owl himself, reached down and booped me on the nose.
Booped?
Yeah, with his finger. Hypothetically speaking.
I wouldn't.
He taught.
I wouldn't profess to know what or how the Valar choose to give their blessings, but perhaps that is precisely what happened.
Look at that. I might be cursed, but I'm also blessed. It's balancing act. That's what life's all about.
The past 6 months or so have been very interesting.
I've learned so much.
I can see that. This is not strictly what I expected when you had written me. There is a lot more that has happened than you had let on.
A lot more has happened since I wrote you.
Such a short amount of time. This ring, first and foremost, as it is currently the most pertinent. This ring wields immense power. It is capable of enhancing the will of its bearer. But as I have said, it is imbued with corruption. It has been tainted towards the shadow, and will continue to pull you in that path. To wield this ring is to walk a perilous path. Its gifts may be tempting, but they carry the risk of losing yourself to the darkness.
No, I don't want it.
I understand.
I don't even like shiny things. That's half the reason I left the mountain to begin with.
This
I don't want the curse or the burden. You know, there's got to be somebody else that wants to take it to be destroyed. How about this? I'll leave it here. I'll go get the hammer and bring it back.
He, the corners of his mouth turn up in a way that only Elverneth can see. And he says, You may try just that, Mistress Dwarf.
I can leave it here. I'll go get the hammer and come back. I'll come back.
You may try.
I swears it.
Absolutely.
I don't like the way you said that. Though everything you say sounds about the same, it's kind of interesting. But I got a hint of sarcasm.
Elves are not well acquainted with sarcasm.
Oh, now come on. Somebody as old as you has had to crack a few jokes on the occasion, find humor in the irony of life.
I can be quite humorous.
Tell me your best joke.
No.
Oh, I'm gonna write this one down. Oh. I don't have any Elvish jokes in my book. I've got songs. Elverneth even let me write her story. I've got I got a few songs actually. I got a couple maps. This one guy at the bar, he was telling me, no, that didn't really amount to much. But I don't have any jokes. And humor is said to be the basis of culture. So what makes you laugh, Elrond?
I assure you that you have heard or seen or perhaps even written down the jokes of the elves. They are so intricately woven that unless you're looking for it, you'll never see it coming.
Well, for my joke all the time.
My granddaughter is quite hilarious.
Right. Well,
A regular jester of the court.
now that we've cleared that up, I would prefer, to leave it here safely in the walls of Rivendell, and then I'll come back with, a hammer or whatever's needed to, break it apart. That way nobody's tempted, and I don't have to be the bearer of nothing but a hammer.
And I wish nothing more than that for you. Now, this sorcerer, this Gorlank, you said that the rangers are keeping an eye and an ear out for this person?
They said he's moving south. He's on the move.
They ran him to the south 30 years ago.
Sorry, they're running him south.
Ran.
From the Etten Moors. Ran him south. Through the Etten Moors.
He's come full circle.
He's back.
They ran him out of Eriador about 30 years ago, and there are signs that he has resurfaced. And he is seeking ancient treasure and artifacts. Is that correct?
Seems to be that way. First a crown, but word is he's digging other places.
Would it be so inconceivable to assume that this rumored sorcerer that was run out by rangers who has seemingly returned could be the one who sent that message on the wind? You said you believe he may be commanding the trolls.
It's true. I guess that's true. I hadn't really thought about him being the one making the call. I didn't even know anybody was calling for the ring.
I did not know the message. However, that puts many puzzle pieces together.
Perhaps he is intrinsically tied to whatever's happening in the north.
Yes.
The old troll, being as far north as Bree, is a concern. He is usually not one to range that far. He usually keeps to his own. We usually keep a weathered eye in his direction. Occasionally, he is a font of information.
Like Helvetica.
I'm sorry.
Haleth. It's Haleth.
Yes, Haleth.
What about her?
She was the one to whom the message was directed.
Oh, yes, you mentioned the message.
Yes. Solheim, you carry a message. She seems to be one of the chief rangers at this time, at least one to whom others defer. She has, where is it? Hold on. She has gone to the ruins of Arnor at this point. Some of the rangers have discovered old relics and uncovered lore from those ruins.
Interesting. I note that your charge is missing. Elaborate.
He is in that mission as well.
Ah. And Solheim, you have a missive for this ranger?
I do, from the Grey Wizard. It was partially delivered.
Do you have it?
I do.
Do you mind if I see it?
I'll take it out, hand it over.
He quickly unfurls this letter, and you see his eyes skim back and forth as he's looking at every letter on this missive. He says, "The Grey Wizard, Gandalf. He seems to be aware of this Gorlake. He seems to be at least partially concerned with his appearance. Have you read this?" And he sort of holds it up.
No. It is not mine to read. Although at this point I might as well. Others have read it.
He kind of rolls it like it like rolls back up. He rolls it across the table to you. He says, "The wizard speaks of this sorcerer Gorlank. He doesn't call him such by name, but he does refer to the regions north where he was known to frequent. He's asking the rangers to investigate any marks of dark sorcery, disappearances, rituals, creatures. He believes that Gorlank is returned and is causing some manner of discontent in the north. Perhaps this is all tied together.
If it is tied together, are you implying that this Gorlak may be responsible for the sea creature that I encountered?
Not directly. No. When you see, there are things here that are. How do I explain this to you? When Arda was founded, there were things that existed, things that have always been. There was a serpent in the south near Cair Darrow, or Cair Darrow. Either way, that's what it's called. No, near Laundaire. It was a serpent troubling the seas, and it was slain. The woman who reportedly slew this creature is now queen of the area, a queen in title alone. Perhaps this creature, this sea monster, as you have spoken, is a of its brood, of its kin, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. But what I do know is that when the shadows grow long across the world, creatures of old, creatures of darkness are far more active. They are emboldened by these darker turns. And if someone is stretching shadow across Eriador, then perhaps this is encouraging these creatures to return or to surface or to be more active than they once were. I don't think he's directly responsible for this creature or any attack you may have witnessed, but I think in a roundabout fashion, it may be ultimately his doing.
So as long as there's Gorlag, the sea creature, along with everything else, it's going to be an unrest.
As long as there is someone emboldening the shadow, yes.
It appears that the Rangers have already deduced this much themselves, though, for they are already sending missives to other groups, including the Dwarves of the Blue Mountains. We should be having a visitor sometime here as well.
Well, I will take your presence here as an invitation until I see others. I will offer you whatever aid I can, knowledge, skill, the craftsmen of the Elves. You are welcome to stay here, rest, recover your wounds, and plot your journey forward. Whether that is to Ostenadil or to route out this Gorlank from the north. But every day that passes, every week, month, the shadows grow longer. I fear that the enemy grows in power.
Perhaps rather than going towards the north, like the sorcerer would like, going south is a wiser option. remove the tool that could be used for the enemy rather than dare place it in his grasp.
I couldn't agree more. I don't want to go north. And let's just talk about Austin Hill. It's right on the cusp of Moria. Isn't that technically, Mike, right now it's just a little bit of like unwary area. It's like untamed area. And Moria's lost at this point, so it's pretty close to the West Gate.
Yeah, Moria is that is the Doors of Durin. That area.
Right.
The West Gate is the Doors of Durin. So yeah, it's pretty bleak over there.
This whole area is like crawling with goblins.
Yeah, it's not a great place to be.
Okay, so I know many of you don't necessarily have a reason to be taking the West Gate or the Red Horn Pass through to the other side of the mountains, but you don't go near Moria. There's a reason dwarves don't live there anymore. And it's been left to peace. That whole area is crawling with goblins.
Would
The
you
whole
prefer
area.
goblins or hillmen and trolls?
I'd prefer to leave the ring here and go back to Bree and have me an ale. Finish me song.
You cannot go back to Brig, Lofram.
Well, when I don't have the ring no more, I can, because I can prove me innocence. Can't prove I stole nothing if I ain't got it.
That's how crime works.
What proof do they have? Plus, it was Wheelie technically that stole it. I'm just hanging on to it for good measure to return it to its rightful owner.
Of course.
That being said, semantics aside, okay, wait. I could get in the library, right? Are there other elvish cities we could consider, or is Austin Hill considered like where it was originally made, so therefore it needs to go back to its place of origin? Or is this just one option? Could there be other cities?
If it was forged...
Or ruins?
If it was forged on the Great Forge in Ostenadil, then that is the best chance for its destruction.
It sounds like our paths may keep us divided then. While I care for you and my new companions, my heart is calling me to the north. I would like to take this serpent's fang and press it slowly through the heart of Borink.
So you want to take the ring straight to him?
I will not take a ring to him, but I will take him death.
We don't even know where he is. Do we know how far south he went? Last sighting of Gorlek?
Only the
Oh, right
Rangers
here.
know.
I've got it right here. This was the last sighting. I literally marked it on the map as such. Oh, Pat, we have to pass through the atom.
That was the last sighting recently. How far south he went.
Then we don't know.
Yeah, so 30 years ago, the Rangers drove him south. From the lands of Bree south.
This was the last time 30 years ago they saw him.
That was the last time recently.
I mean, what are we going to do? Sneak up on him? He's got all of the Attenmores working for him.
Ring. That's what he wants. Unfortunately, the best way to get close to someone who wants you dead is if you have something they want.
So bait. So I'm bait.
I wouldn't say that. Master
What?
Elf over here said that we could have assistance with what we needed. Why not spare a few armed men and women and assist us on this matter to take it out? Instead of leaving it to... No offense, but I can handle myself in a fight, but I am no soldier.
Are we ready?
will take the cause. We will muster forces. It will take time, And we need a location. We can't just expend our resources wandering the mountainside. But if you find where this sorcerer is holed up, we can aid you. Perhaps the dwarves of the Blue Mountains will aid us as well, and the men of the Breelands. Whoever else the Rangers have sought fit to reach out to.
You know, there were those bandit sightings near Fornost. We haven't actually been, to Fornost, but it seems to get brought up on the regular. And, if I was Gorlank and got run out of,
Actually, I came from Fornost.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay, well, never mind then. I'm trying to think, if I was Gorlank, where would I hide? Because the plains of Rudar south of the Etamors is barren land, there's nothing there. Where are you going to hide?
The ruins of Rudauer scatter the land. There are small towns and
so that's kind of what
villages and
these are here.
Those are Those are watchtowers.
Those are additional watchtowers.
Yep.
So unless we're going to literally search all the ruins of Rudar, we need more to go on before we can set out and actually hunt him down. Though I'm not completely against setting up a trap. It does feel like a good idea, doesn't it? Maybe we sleep on it. We spend, a few days or weeks in the library, really getting our heads together, researching, finding the truth of the matter. Then we'll have more information and information. Knowledge is power. You think Gorlake has knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, well, not like we do. Or could have. I guess I'm saying we've got to one-up him. We need to know more. I feel like we have some ideas, but we don't actually know the full truth of the matter. Like, why? Why is he doing this? Why is he calling out to all these creatures and monsters and, spreading the shadow? What is his real purpose for gathering all these artifacts? What's he's working towards his goal?
I dare not answer that question.
But if we don't, we don't have any idea what he's working towards. If we understand his goals, then, maybe we can plan accordingly.
Eleventh, how much have you told them of your missions?
Admittedly, less than I think I probably should have at this point. However, you can see why I would withhold information, I'm sure. There are a few that can be trusted with the information I hold, and, well...
Have you spoken of what recently transpired in regards to Doguldur?
Again, I dare not say it out loud. Even the thought sends a chill through my spine.
The enemy
You mean like the Doguldur?
Yes, the Doguldur, south of the Greenwood. The enemy has declared himself as returned. Sauron was not defeated in the last alliance of men and elves.
What do you mean not defeated? Every story tells that he was.
It was a temporary respite, a final act that would have rid our world of him was never done. And I fear now that it may never come to fruition. The shadow of Sauron fled from Dol Guldur, returned to his stronghold in Mordor. This was some 10 years ago. So when you ask, to what purpose may this sorcerer be spreading the shadow, spreading corruption, rallying forces, I believe this is the purpose. This Gorlank has heard the call of his old master and wishes to be his hand across the Misty Mountains. The men of the White Tree fight day and night against the forces of Mordor. They keep it at bay from lands east, or lands west, rather. We are, in large part, far safer than those east of the Misty Mountains. They act as a natural defense, but if someone can make a foothold here, create an army, sow discontent, then it makes it that much easier for us to fall. And on this side of the mountain, we don't have much left. We have what forces I can muster here in Rivendell, those few warriors remaining in Lindon. We have the men of Bree who have their uses. And we have the tattered remnants of a once great people. Should the shadow breach the mountains, we won't stand as great a chance as our eastern companions.
What if the Ents?
What?
No one has seen an Ent in. There may not be any.
Suppose they did go to sleep.
The shepherds have. There are few and far between. There, as far as I understand, there may have been one in the old forest, but I know not if they're still there.
What of the men of Dale? Can they not be called upon to fight?
The journey across the mountains is dangerous. If the men of Dale, if King Bard were to call his banners, they would likely fight with the forces of Gondor. They would rally to the White Tree. We have no such great cities or such great standing armies this side of the mountain. We can call.
It's not necessarily true. You know, that we still have the dwarves.
there is a long pause in this statement as you get the feeling that Elrond is sort of chewing on what he wants to say here.
Well, he can chew on it all he likes. It's the truth.
I mean no offense, Mistress Dwarf. The dwarves of the Blue Mountain could not be rallied around the kin of their king to retake an ancestral home. They could not be rallied when that home was retaken and the four armies descended. The Iron Hills answered. The Blue Mountain did not. And only once the dust settled on the Battle of the Five Armies did those dwarves venture across the Misty Mountains to see what others had done.
Well, I don't mean to correct you, Lord Elrond, but the 12 dwarves that set out, no, sorry, the 13 dwarves that set out, did I get that number right, 13? 13 dwarves that set out to reclaim that Misty Mountain were from the Blue Hills. Maybe not originally, but they called it home. So the rest of the dwarves may not have answered, but the ones who cracked the door open, they were there. And I'm a bit of an optimist at heart, if you do say so. So sometimes you just need the right person to ask and say it nicely.
Well,
maybe it's all that sarcasm you have. They don't ever like that very much.
Perhaps a combination of your charm and the request of the Rangers can stir the dwarves to their feet, where the request of their king could not. I will place no faith in the dwarves of the Blue Mountains any more than I will place fate in the hands of the men of Bree.
Well, as a dwarf of the Blue Mountains, and a right, regular of Bray, I'd like to say maybe they don't show up because you have no faith in them.
Sometimes it takes a history of arriving when called to have faith that the call would be answered.
Maybe. But there's one thing I know about history, it's ever-changing. And more importantly, come to find out, what's written in the history books is, well, only a right bit of the truth, not all of it. I guess what I'm saying is, if you're asking us to go out, either find a hammer or potentially rally the troops so that we can start a war all across the northern area of Ariador, so that we can kill Gorlink, break the curse, and stop the shadow from spreading, then we might as well have a little bit of faith in those people we're hoping to ask to do it.
In this matter, I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong. But it's better to prepare for the worst than hope for the best.
Well, that's where we disagree. Because I wake up every day hoping for the best and just facing the worst. For you to be an elf, you'd think that you'd have a brighter, look on life. All that light and stuff.
Again, there's a pause, and Elverneth, you can see that he is holding back. He's holding back an annoyance. where the brashness of this dwarf has run its enjoyment, and he's holding back from like really calling her out. But he sort of chews his tongue in this moment and lets her have this moment.
Elverneth is also holding her tongue because when you have thousands of years of personal history, that changes your perspective a little bit. We're looking at the long game.
Yeah. All those other kings that called for the aid of the dwarves, and the dwarves saying "rip."
Yeah.
The dwarves gave a big stony finger to everyone else.
Well, I don't mean to be rude, Lord Elrond. Truly, I don't, or ungrateful. I guess I'm just saying, you got a dwarf here now, so maybe there's more hope than you think.
As I said, I would love nothing more than for my opinion to be proved false.
I don't want to prove your opinion false. I want you to get up in the morning and think, that there's a little hope left in the world. Willie taught me that.
There is absolutely hope left in the world. Why do you think we are still here, Glowfrom?
Well, technically, because I haven't made a decision yet if I'm going to take this ring or not. Plus, I haven't seen the library.
Glowfrom. I mean, why do you think we are here? And she gestures to herself and her grandfather. We have been at this task for thousands of years now. We would have gone and made the journey home if we thought there was no hope for this place.
So, if we've been doing it for thousands of years, why haven't we finished it?
Some things take longer.
How are you supposed to fight an evil that's thousands of years old?
You live for thousands of years and continue fighting.
Yeah, but I'm not thousands of years old. I'm the ripe age of 83. And, I'm in me prime. And I don't have ancient knowledge or power or strength. So, I'm a bit concerned. And no offense, Solheim, I know you survived, the monster and all, but what do you really think we can do against Gorlang? He's controlling beast all across the land.
I don't care what he can control. He's going to control these fists around his neck.
Okay, well, there's a level of optimism we haven't heard at the table yet. It's something to hope for. I guess I'm a bit wary, I'll be honest. I didn't leave the Blue Mountains to bear rings or fight ancient, powerful. What is Gorlang? He's a dwarf?
You don't know.
We don't know. Powerful evils. I left because I was bored and I didn't really like not being able to see the sun. I want to drink with people at the pub and have best friends that are hobbits. Break Bilbo Baggins' fence on the occasion. I didn't really want all this.
Those who ask for power and adventure rarely deserve it.
I don't want either of those things. Don't want the power. Don't really want the adventure neither. I just want to be able to draw, ruins and map out, Eriador and maybe write down the stories of the people that live in it.
Those burdened with purpose rarely ask for it.
Oh, but why does my purpose have to be to take this ring to Gorlang?
It is in those moments where you are faced with a task that is not of your choosing, not of your desire, that you take up the cause. You become the hope. You kindle the light.
Solheim can carry it. He wants to go see Gorlang.
Solheim could carry it.
So I'm going to carry it.
Whatever it means to make it up there, sure.
I'm just, maybe we should take some time to really think about it. Weigh our options.
Absolutely, we should.
I'm hungry. We've been riding for the last few days. I know the lots of you live on lambus bread, but I need some meat.
You actually hear a giggle off of that one.
He glances over to Elverneth and says, "Yes, I will have our bakers prepare something other than lembas bread. I'll
Oh.
see if we have
I've got an
anything in the
Elvis joke
stores."
for you.
By all
Why are
means.
the elves so grumpy?
Why?
Because all they eat is lambus bread. It's funny, you see, because it really doesn't taste good, so it leaves you
Oh,
not as happy.
I see.
You
I
think
understand.
about it. You'll get it in a little bit. Maybe next time you have lambus bread, you'll give it an old chuckle and think about Glowfram.
Right. Of course. As I said, you are welcome to stay here within the halls of Rivendell. You will have access to the library. You'll have access to our craftsmen.
Oh.
Anything that we learn about this movement in the north or this creature in the south, you will know.
And you're gonna be around?
I do live here, yes.
I started writing your granddaughter's story, but it might be nice, to write yours. Just me and you, 2 chairs, fire, ink to paper.
We shall see.
I will take that as a solid maybe.
You may take that as we shall see.
Maybe.
In the meantime, for this purpose, Laverneth, you will report to Glorfindel directly, as you have done before. He will see to anything that you may need. He will work on mustering our forces when we have a point of attack.
Of course.
And if the 2 of you will excuse me, I would like to have a moment with my granddaughter.
Oh yeah, I get it when I'm not wanted. Okay, so we'll see you at dinner?
Yes, a feast of lembas bread and leaves, flowers, the bark of trees.
And meat. There's going to be meat.
Will all be served.
Okay, salted. Work.
Salted bark.
Never.
New experiences, Mistress Dwarf.
And you're going to be at dinner?
I'll be there.
I'll save you a seat.
He reaches across the table as you go to leave, and he picks something up and says, "Mistress Dwarf."
Yes, Lord Elrond.
And he throws a braid of hair to you.
You don't want to keep it?
The ring is still attached.
Well, I guess I'll just dread it back into min matted hair. A funny thing about dwarven hair, you can cut it, and with enough knotting, it just goes right back in.
Solheim is going to place his big hand on Glowfram's shoulder and slowly start to escort her out of the chamber. Come on, friend, tell me all about your matted hair.
As the 2 of them leave, Elrond turns to you, Elverneth, and there's a moment where there's silence, and the silence speaks volumes of what just happened. And he sort of ends that with a heavy sigh, and he says, You had mentioned companions, and this is not what I anticipated, nor is the information you have brought me. But it is good to
Well,
see you.
You know I like to always keep you on your toes.
And you have. She is. She is.
She has been kicked out of Bree.
I've gathered as much.
Mm-hmm.
You say she ate the ring.
Yes.
Why? What was the...
You know,
How would that be better than a pocket?
I don't know. Her mind is a wonder. I can very rarely guess what she will do from one moment to the next. She once had a very loud fake breakup with another companion. They weren't dating. They just broke up.
Just strange. Your friends are who they are. And you're entitled to them. Strange as they may be.
There are very few among our kind that are very strange as I am, Adar. You know that.
This is true. Your journey in recent months seems to have taken an uptick in the level of excitement.
For better or worse, I suppose.
Yes, you seem to have made a few friends and lost a few more along the way. And you are here before me, shaped in ways that I could not have imagined. I am proud that you have returned. And in such a state.
I'm very weary.
I can imagine. Rest, recover, see to your friends. I will reach out to the rangers. I will find this Haleth. Perhaps I can find your charge and woo him back to your aid. This sorcerer gives me concern. If he is noteworthy enough for Gandalf to be concerned, then I too should be concerned. I will reach out to my old friend. Perhaps I can entreat him to join us in Rivendell for a time.
That would cause quite a stir with Glowfram. She really does not like that wizard.
I feel like we would be hard-pressed to find something that wouldn't cause a stir with her.
Yes. She is very stirring. And
Seek Glorfindel. He too has missed you. And he gets up from his chair and sort of walks around the table towards you and places a hand out for you to take his hand.
I take his hand and I stand.
And he gives you a big grandfatherly hug in the privacy of his sitting room. And I think that's where we end this episode of Shattered Crown. This is the final episode of 2023, and we will be doing our Yule break. So in game terms, maybe we'll do this recorded, maybe we'll do it behind the scenes, who knows. But in game terms, there are multiple fellowship phases, the final of which is the Yule fellowship phase, which can be months, weeks, etc. But you all get to do something. you all get to do an undertaking, one as a group, and then all of you individually get to do an undertaking. You'll all also gain XP, and you can spend XP to get items or virtues, and it'll be all kinds of fun stuff. So this will be the second arc of our campaign, a second year. You're entering 2966 of the Third Age. You have graduated from 2965. So yeah, that is where we will end this episode. Let's go around, do some outroductions so we can get the hell out of here and do some stars and wishes in our after show. If you guys want access to the after show, you can check it out over on our Patreon. Join us over at the $5 tier. And I think you can actually get like a 5-day free trial if you go over there and check that shit out. While you're down there, click on that Patreon link. Make sure you click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. Talk about this game, what you think's going to happen, who this Gorlank guy is, what's going on. And we'll glow from romance Elrond. Important conversation happening in the Discord.
The answer is yes. Glowfrim will romance Elrond.
Will it be reciprocal?
He's never seen a dwarf like me before. Plus, he knows he wants to run his fingers through me mustache. So it's just going to take some time, a couple more jokes.
Married?
She went to the Undying Lands.
She's still alive. She's still going to be there when he goes there.
Well, he can sort that out when he gets there. I'm sure, enough time means an open relationship. Plus, once he's past the Undying Lands, we don't have to worry about any drama or nothing. It's smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing. With that...
That should be the episode name.
It was The Last Homely House, but Smooth Sailing is a good one.
I'm just saying.
Maybe that'll be the next episode name. Jesus.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so let's go around, do our outros so we can get out of here and do our after show. We'll start with the hordiest dwarf in Rivendell. Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi, friends. I'm Dot. You can find me online as Little Red Dot. I spend most of my time over with Kobold Press during the day, and at night, I get to hang out here and with my podcast, Pod by Night. So go fucking check it out.
Hell yeah, check that out. Speaking of Pod by Night...
Also, Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year. Speaking of Pod by Night, its wonderful editor is Gnome. Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
What's up, bitches? My name's Gnome. You can find me everywhere at Nomadic. Literally everywhere at Nomadic. I reserve that space. I don't know. I do things. I stream a lot now. Well, Monday through Saturdays. Super hella early in the morning. So if you ever commute, or you wake up early, or you live on the other side of the world, and it is bright-ass daytime for you, come hang out. I do a lot of chill stuff. A lot of art stuff, a lot of journal stuff, and things like that.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, Aris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Eris Savad, and I make things. You can find the things that I make at erisavad.com. Yeah, even with sound effects and all.
Wow.
Yeah, you can use the coupon code COZY to get 20% off all of my winter themed items through the end of the year. So you only have a couple more days for that. Get yourself something super cute and winter themed to keep you warm and cozy through the summer.
Perfect. With that, that's it for us, guys. This will close out 2023. Mayhaps you can find some things over on Patreon to keep yourselves busy. And that is probably the last show you'll see from me for quite some time. I'm leaving, and I'll be gone for the entire month of January. And when we pick back up, we will hopefully have a KP with us. So go message him on Twitter and be like, yo, what's up? Shattered Crown. Hashtag all those fun things. Cool. That's it for us, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you had an amazing holiday, whatever you celebrate, and I hope you have an amazing new year. And I hope that in the new year, all of your resolutions come true. But that's it from us. We'll see you guys next year. So from all of us to you, bye-bye.